looking at the god of romance, saying, and let me start out. I'll tell a story. So, on their front porch rockers, watching the beautiful sunset and reminiscing about the good old days. At one point, Grandma turned to Grandpa and said, "Honey, do you remember when we first started dating? You used to just casually reach over and take my hand?" Grandpa looked over at her, smiled, and obligingly took her hand in his. After a few minutes, with a wry little, Grandma pressed a little bit further. "Honey, do you remember how after we got engaged, you'd sometimes lean over and suddenly kiss me on the cheek?" Grandpa leaned toward Grandma and gave her a lingering kiss on her cheek. A few minutes later, growing very bold as still, Grandma said, "Honey, do you remember how after we were first married, you'd kind of nibble on my ear?" Grandpa stopped for a second, slowly got up from his rocker. Grandma was a little alarmed and a little hurt. She said, "Honey, where are you going?" Grandpa replied, "Well, I got to go get my teeth." The thing is, that's the way the world views romance. That's what they think love is. That's what they believe. And while there's nothing like love, it's not the end all. And today we're going to continue our series, Counterfeit Gods, Defeating the Idols That Battle for Our Hearts. In this series, we've been learning that anything can be turned into gods when they take the place in our lives that only belongs to the one true God. The reality is that we can make, and I know believers who do this, believers who take things and they take them out of proportion and they make them their God. And unfortunately, that happens in churches where to a God of some sort, and they practically worship at his feet, or the music leader, or the Sunday school teacher, or the